Good morning, everybody. Thanks for being here today. My name is Snyder. I'm the Assistant Vice President for Advancement and Executive Director for the GSW Foundation. Dr. Weaver could not be here today, so he gives his regrets and certainly wishes he could, but we'll go ahead and get started with the program. This is an exciting day. We have had a lot of these types of events on campus recently. Many of you were at the ribbon cutting last week for our Flory Chapel Gymnasium ribbon cutting. For the renovation there. We've had, last year we opened our hitting facility for athletics, and in a few months we're going to open the locker room for the baseball team in that same building. So it's exciting to be on campus when things like this are happening. We're certainly happy to be here today to honor one of our great partners. First, I'd like to introduce a few of our special guests here in the room. We have a number of Magnolia Manor leadership in-house. I don't want to say all their names because I don't want to get anybody wrong, okay? But we're certainly glad that you're all here. Happy to have Dr. Suzanne Smith and Dr. Laura Bourne from our executive leadership team. Mr. Jeff Hall is over here as well. And certainly good to have all of you here today as well. I know we have a number of students here, nursing students. We have a number of student athletes who do more than you can imagine in their partnership with Magnolia Manor on a regular basis. So we're certainly glad to have all of you here. I'd like to thank Magnolia Manor and their staff for helping us make this day possible. And we'll get into how that's happened a little bit later on, but specifically with their communications staff and their advancement staff, this lovely sign here. We wanted them to be a part of this space, but they actually designed this, so it's a very nice sign. And we worked directly with them to make sure that this event can happen today. I'd also like to thank John Bell from the Matrix Department. They did all the work today. John couldn't be here, but we work quite a bit with Matrix Department with our signage on campus in a number of different ways. I'd also like to thank our GSW advancement staff, specifically Kirsten Rowland, who's in our foundation office, and Chelsea Collins, who's in our communications office. Certainly glad that you guys are on our team and helping this event take place. If any of you have been at a ribbon cutting in the last 10, 15 years on our campus, you've heard the quote, to build, that is the noblest art of all the arts. That quote is from Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, the great poet, but that quote comes from more regularly former Senator George Hooks. Every time we had a ribbon cutting or a groundbreaking on campus, he would mention how great it is to build and the fact that is the noblest art. And what we're doing today, we're honoring building, but we're honoring not necessarily construction so much as we are partnership. And I think partnership is really the operative word of why we're here today. 10 years ago, the Rosalind Carter Health and Human Sciences Complex was opened. If you remember, for some of you that have been on campus for many years, you know that the two buildings here, this is Carter 1 as we like to call it. This is Carter 2 with psychology and sociology and the Rosalind Carter Institute for Caregivers. This was originally going to be one building. And we tried for a decade to get the funding from the state, and for whatever reason it didn't work. We had some ingenuity on the part of Representative Mike Chokas, who suggested that we split it up into two buildings and to make it happen. So this was the first building. So we have, this is the College of Nursing, and upstairs is a simulation lab that it mirrors a hospital building. And so it took a long time to get this building to fruition, but 10 years ago we were in this very space doing what we're doing now, except it was the ribbon cutting for the whole building. Today we're doing a ribbon cutting or a naming ceremony specifically for one of our great partners. So partnership in legislative process is important. Certainly the partnership in construction. This building was actually constructed by Allstate Construction, and their president and CEO was Mr. Bill Weldon, who is a Georgia Southwestern graduate. Certainly partnership and scholarship with the College of Nursing and partners like Phoebe Putney and Magnolia Manor to work directly with their staff to train nurses. And partnership and philanthropy, which is really why one of the main reasons we're here today. And so partnership is the perfect word to sum up our relationship with Magnolia Manor. Magnolia Manor is been very generous to us in many ways. They have a scholarship specifically for employees of Magnolia Manor that want to attend Georgia Southwestern, and so they have funded that and to make sure that their staff is well educated. As you see a lot of gold shirts here today with our student athletes. As I said earlier, that's probably one of the strongest ways to see that partnership on campus at Georgia Southwestern, but also on campus at Magnolia Manor. In the ways that they can now with COVID restrictions, much time doesn't pass that you don't see a softball team or a soccer team or a basketball team contributing to the spirits and the grounds or whatever it may be on the campus of Magnolia Manor. So, I'm speaking for myself, but certainly for the rest of our campus, we're certainly honored to be able to do that and to be a part of that partnership. But also, partnership in academics. Magnolia Manor has really stepped up to the plate to help us fund our nursing program. And Dr. Daniel will speak to this a little bit later about our associates in nursing that has been reapproved after over 20 years of a hiatus. Ultimately our goal is to train nurses and get more in the workforce. And certainly we're happy to partner with Magnolia Manor to do that. Magnolia Manor is a big partner for Georgia Southwestern. They do it in many ways through our athletics program and certainly in our academics program. And when President and CEO Mark Todd and I had a discussion earlier this year about what might be a good fit to name a space for Magnolia Manor, certainly the nursing building was really at the top of the list. And this space, the now Magnolia Manor Nursing Auditorium, was unnamed. And if you've ever been on campus, you know that space is used frequently. So not only was it a good fit because of the relationship with our nursing program, but it was a good fit because people come on our campus a lot and they use this space a lot, and they needed to know how big of a partner that Magnolia Manor is for Georgia Southwestern. So we're certainly happy to have this space named for them. And without saying too much more, I do want to introduce Mark Todd, who's the president and CEO of Magnolia Manor. He's also a Georgia Southwestern graduate 2 times. I'm not going to say the years, but he's got 2 degrees from here, okay? He's also a trustee on the GSW Foundation Board of Trustees. So that partnership goes in even further. And after he speaks, Chairman Lou Chase from the GSW Foundation, she's going to speak, and Dr. Sandra Daniel, who is the Dean of the College of Nursing and Health Sciences. But with that, I'd like to introduce Mark Todd.
Well, good morning, everybody. Certainly glad to be here. It's great that you've all come out to help us celebrate this great honor. And it is an honor for Magnolia Manor to be recognized in this way. When you look around our community and you look around Sumter County, Americus, and where all it extends to, it becomes important that people partner together. So Georgia Southwestern State University, and that's a mouthful for me. It used to be Georgia Southwestern College when I was here many years ago. And I know the gray hair gives it away. It's many, many years. Most of you weren't born then. So I want to thank everybody for coming out to help us with this recognition. It was very unexpected and really not necessary, but certainly an honor for us to do that. And I'm here representing our Board of Trustees, who make the decisions for Magnolia Manor. I'm here to represent our leadership team, a lot of whom are here today, and feel free to speak to any of them. I'm here to represent those of you that want to come work for us. You know, I've got to make sure that that as you graduate from these programs here. We have, at the last time that we took a head count, we had over 45 people that worked at Magnolia Manor in all of our locations that were graduates of Georgia Southwestern State University. They're not all nurses. We have a lot of different fields and a lot of different things, but a lot of them are. So that's why having this recognition in this area and in this place is so important to us, and I think it's such a great honor to do that. So on behalf of our Board of Trustees, our leadership, our staff, and the residents, some of whom you are already friends with and you do so much for, Stephen alluded to the different ways that we partner together, and we do. And I'm here to tell you, you do make a difference. You make a difference to us, but more importantly, you make a difference to the people that we serve and that live in our facilities and are there. And I don't have to tell any of us what the pandemic has done and how it's been difficult and how it's been an unusual time. And for our residents to see, some of the athletes out, they may be cleaning a window, but they're also, they've got residents that are looking out that window, and they see that life is going on and that things are going on around them, and it's so, so important to do that. Nursing students coming in, hopefully we're going to get back to where they're going to come into our buildings for clinicals like they used to do on a regular basis all the time. Because, long-term care, skilled care nursing is a little bit different from acute care nursing. And you need to have those kinds of experiences as you go out and you begin your careers and you do different things like that. And then we're going to work really hard to create internship opportunities in other areas, whether it be through HR or the business office or some of the other kinds of things. So as much as anything, this represents our commitment as an organization to the college and our partnership and what that means. It's very, very important to all of us. And hopefully you as students and you as friends of the manor and friends of the college, we can all come together in many, many different ways to do that. So again, it's an unexpected pleasure, but it certainly is something that we're looking for other ways to be connected to what goes on here, and we will continue to do that. We want to be creative. We want to be thoughtful. We want to be intentional. And that's what I would challenge each of you to be. Be intentional in what you do. Be intentional in your studies. Be intentional in the work that you do. Be intentional in the careers that you choose. And above all else, make a difference in somebody's life. And if it happens to be in senior care, that's more the better. Is that appropriate? Where's the English? Where are the English teachers in here? So please don't hold me to that. We won't talk about grade point averages or any of that kind of good stuff. So again, thank you very much for having us here. Thank you for letting us be a part of this. It is very much an honor and our privilege to be a partner with Georgia Southwestern State University. When Dr. Weaver first came here, one of the early conversations I had with him was, we need to get the associate nursing program back. It was something that I felt personally very, very important, was a very, very important part to the academic schedule that we have here, because we can get RNs to the workforce quicker. We can do other things, because I can remember as a student here, and I don't mean to dwell on the fact back in the old days, but back in the old days, the nursing students were the top students in the school. They were very well respected. The program, the test scores and all the things, the metrics that you use to say what's a successful nursing student look like. Southwestern did such an outstanding job, and I know they continue to do an outstanding job of that. But it allows for nurses and RNs in particular, which we have a desperate need for. All of the studies and all of the statistics and everything that you see talks about there aren't enough nurses. And as much as anything, we're not turning out enough nurses for all the reasons that we all know to do that. So hopefully with the addition of the associate program, we can continue to accelerate some of that and do that. But I'm here not only to talk about nursing. There are so many other things and other levels of education that we need in our organization is just one of many. So we typically have over 1,100 staff members that work in our organization. We have 9 locations across South Georgia. So it might not be here in Americus, it might be on St. Simon's Island, or it might be in the Savannah area. We've got locations in all of those kinds of places, Columbus, Georgia. So think of us in a more global way, and I think this recognition with people coming in and doing that kind of thing, that's one of the ways that it allows us to do that, to kind of get our message out a little bit, that we're not just the 1 or 2 buildings that you see down the street and over there. We're a bigger organization than that. And that's why this can be a really important, call it a marketing tool, call it a recognition tool, whatever you want to call it. But it's our way of being seen. And we appreciate the college allowing us to do that, because we do have a lot of places that we touch, and we have a lot of people that work for us. And more than that, we have a lot of people that we serve. So again, thank you very much for this honor. We're glad to be here. Thank you to the leadership team for all the work that you do every day to make Magnolia Manor the place that it is. And then the last challenge is one I'll repeat again. Some of you are gonna, when you get out of school and you're gonna be looking for jobs, think about us. Come talk to us. If nothing else, we can offer you some advice. We can offer you some insight. We can offer you some suggestions and help you get to places you want to go. So come volunteer. Come do the things that a lot of the athletes are doing. If you're not an athlete, that's fine. We have volunteers that are not athletes. Our residents love young people. They love to be around young people. They love to interact with young people. So any opportunity we can to facilitate that. And hopefully as the world begins to open back up, we'll have more opportunities to do that. We'll do it in a more intentional way. And Magnolia Manor is super happy to be a partner with Georgia Southwestern State University. So thank you very much.
Well, good morning. And again, we come together on Gold Force Day to celebrate the naming of the Magnolia Manor Nursing Auditorium. On behalf of Georgia Southwestern State University Foundation, we are excited to be a part of this special day. As many of you may know, Magnolia Manor plays such a vital role not only in Americus, but in Southwest Georgia. The partnership between GSW and Magnolia Manor has truly evolved over the last few years. Mr. Mark Todd certainly does serve as a trustee, and we certainly do appreciate your leadership, Mark. Magnolia Manor has invested numerous dollars by supporting the scholarships that has been spoken about earlier. They also participate in our Canes 360 and our President's Annual Golf Tournament. As mentioned before, our very own student athletes spend countless hours on the campus, volunteering and building relationships with their residents. And most recently, Magnolia Manor has once again stepped up and pledged a significant gift to help get the ASN program back up and running. It is truly fitting that the room be named the Magnolia Manor Nursing Auditorium. Thank you, Magnolia Manor, for all that you do for not only GSW, our community, and especially the many residents, including my parents, who call Magnolia Manor their home. Thank you.
Thank you all, and this is an exciting day for us. And yes, I'm going to speak to nursing and healthcare in my part of this program. But on behalf of our students, our faculty, our staff, but more importantly, our Americus and South Georgia communities, I want to extend our gratitude to Magnolia Manor for your long-term partnership and your support of not nursing only, but our long-term care management, which is a relatively new degree program, But your excellent facilities, the excellent clinical experiences that can be tapped into and that we certainly expect to return to and to strengthen as we launch our new associate degree program this fall. So 2 years from fall of '22, we will have in 6 short semesters our first graduates of our associate degree program. And we know through our history that this will tap into a pipeline that frankly was shut when we closed our associate degree program 22 years ago. In fact, Stephen had alluded to that early. So we know that that partnership will grow, and our commitment to integrate those clinical learning experiences throughout the associate degree program and bachelor degree program, I think will serve our graduates and certainly our nursing program well as we continue to grow. For those of you who may not know, and many of our nursing students, which, by the way, thank you for staying during your lunch break for this. We established our first program was a 2-year program. It was an associate degree program established in 1953, and it was in response to a nationwide nursing shortage. It was right after World War II ended, and so many opportunities and needs were there, and this was our response at Georgia Southwestern. And Mark is right. We had a stellar reputation as an associate degree program. And although we did close that later, we knew that we better step up to the mark of excellence with the bachelor's and then later graduate programs, and indeed I think we did. However, as I mentioned, we did lose a pipeline, and we know that there is interest in nursing. There's a need for nurses. And now at even greater magnitude, the crisis is great nationwide, but more so in Georgia and particularly South Georgia. Our shortage is we don't see an end in sight. But we know that this program will give opportunities that students may not have had. They may need to complete a degree in a shorter time frame, and we believe that we will be tapping into residents of our communities who plan to live and work after they graduate with a nursing degree, and hopefully will be employed to serve the needs in various facilities to include senior living facilities. Certainly many of us will approach that need level pretty soon, and I want excellent nurses. Thank you personally to you, Mark Hill, and to the administrative leadership team at Magnolia Manor. When we reached out to you to ask for your support, I think it was within a couple of hours that I got an email that said, we're on it, we're supporting, and it led to this, and we're excited today with this. And this does indeed serve as a visible reminder to us of this partnership and how we have worked. And I also thank you, Mark. Many in that meeting that you alluded to with Dr. Weaver when he first arrived, you did say, you know, this has to occur. And it took a few years for it to occur, but it is happening now. And thank you for not giving up on us. We were intentional with this, and indeed the need is there, and I think it will be a long-term solution, and hopefully we're going to gain traction and maybe momentum in alleviating this shortage. So we will plan to fill, and with this room will seat about 200 people, this auditorium one day with nursing students. I can remember as an associate degree student many years ago, we had large lecture hall experiences that because we had a large number of students, and I expect that associate degree and our bachelor program to continue to grow. Thank you all. This is exciting. And again, thank you for the partnership that we have and that will continue to grow over time.
Thank you, Dr. Daniel. I'd be remiss if I didn't give special thanks to Dr. Suzanne Smith for really pushing the wheelbarrow uphill to get the curriculum on board for the associate's degree in nursing, working with the Board of Regents, did a wonderful job. And we're here because the program was approved, and it's not approved unless a good plan's put together, so thank you. One final story in closing. As a 19 or 20-year-old college student, I spent many hours at Magnolia Manor. And my now wife, Leah, and I, we would go once a week to the activities room and get a grocery list, and go to the grocery store and buy prizes, as I think they were, for bingo. And some of the things on those lists, they like their prizes, let me tell you.
They like their bingo.
And my wife, who, many of you know her, she's very bright, very sweet, very quiet. When she has to go to Walmart and buy cigarettes, you know, it's a little unusual. So, and I'm sure they do that anymore. They don't do that anymore. So they don't, or maybe it was snuff. Maybe it was dip or snow. I don't know. So, but they also like.
It's getting worse, Steve.
It's getting worse. It's getting worse. One thing they really liked, though, was the Nico crackers with peanut butter in the middle. And I eat those frequently myself. But there are a lot of ways to volunteer at Magnolia Manor, not just by doing yard work or just visiting. And, hopefully, I believe that the days of visiting normally are going to come again, maybe differently than they used to be done, but I believe those are coming back, and I'm hopeful for that. With that, I want to say thank you for everyone coming today, and we certainly appreciate your presence, appreciate Magnolia Manor, Mark, Hill, leadership team, Ty. We're grateful for you guys, and with that, as my pastor would say, we're adjourned. So, thank you. Let's get a picture.